Alright, guys. It doesn't always end with goals. Reality is, you can reach your goals, and you'll find that some of the richest people aren't as happy as they should be. You'll find that some people will just constantly strive for something they can't reach as well. Unrealistic goals. I don't know, being the best footballer in the world, that type of thing. Um, they've missed some important parts of goals. Goals are to send you in a direction, but they're not the be all and end all. Um, Happiness and being content need to go hand in hand with it as well. Because you don't always have to reach the goals. That's the thing. Um, you could want to be the best footballer in the world, but already well aware that you never will be. It could be ages getting on your going against you or whatever. It's going to get harder and harder. It's not going to get easier, which means if you haven't reached it by now, you never will. But enjoying the game, getting to travel, getting to experience things, meeting all the interesting people associated with it, that's what it's about. And if you miss that, you miss the whole point of the journey. So it is important that if you're setting goals, then what? So, for example, if you took it to, I don't know, let's say you went to, a lot of guys go out to the Philippines and they think that's going to solve all the issues. It's not. If you were divorced and paying child support, paying whatever, that's still going to be there. The problems around what caused the relationship breakdown may still be there because normally it's both sides. Often you'll find in relationships that people that are similar are attracted to each other. So you may both have flaws, but it's whether you assess yours, understand it. So when you decide to move to Asia and maybe start a new relationship, are you still bringing the flaws that you had in your previous relationship? So the key is actually working out where you want to be and what you're going to get out of it. Me living in Spain is not just about living in La Mata. I love living in La Mata, but it's to explore Europe. You can go to Italy quite easily, Monaco, up into France, Portugal. It's all on the doorstep. It's about the experience. Um, so that's the important aspect, is actually understanding what are you going to get out of it long term. Don't get me wrong, if you're sat in a cubicle looking at that beach thinking, that's where I'm going to retire, that's where I'm going. If you manage to do 30 years in a cubicle, you're probably going to be quite happy on that beach. But I do think it's worth thinking beyond that. I want to open a small restaurant, or I just want to lounge around, but what am I going to do when I lounge around? Um, Read books, learn to be a aged gamer, um, find this stuff to fill your day. I mean, myself, I know I can't sit still. I know when I'm on holiday, my wife and kids will tell you, we have a lot of activities during the day. We're out and about. We're going to go and see this. We're going to go and do that. Very, very rarely do we sit still. I'm sure they would love to sit still more, but reality is, I'm more into going to see stuff, experiencing it, and getting everyone else to experience it, than lounging on the beach. Um, so it is important to see if you're gonna set a goal, like I want to be rich. Okay, why do you want to be rich? Financial security, independence, um, respect from other people, possibly. I don't know. So here's the other bits that you often have to do when you want to be financially wealthy is you offset other things. Working for a company, 60-hour plus weeks. You sacrifice your spare time. Often the people at the top um, are divorced because you're committed to the company. And those sort of things are things that are overlooked because when we're trying to be everybody's equal, a lot of people go, well, it's male dominated, but there's a reason that it becomes male dominated. Um, and a lot of it is down to the fact of people want a family life, but people that strive in the businesses often end up divorced. and often single males and whatever, because they they've committed their marriage is the business. Their marriage is making the business work. Their marriage is being available all the time. It's not a great place to be, and that's why I find it bizarre that people go, "Wow, there's not enough women in business." And I'm like, it's not a nice place to be. Once you get to a certain level, it's often a horrible place to be. The only thing that's driving it is you on the way up were driven by money, and once you've reached it, you don't know any better. That's why people disappear off and go, I'm going to become a farmer, because they reach a pinnacle point where they just go, I just don't want to do this anymore. And if they've got to get a way to get out, they do. Otherwise, you'll work to death. I remember years ago, there was a director, very committed to the business, and he went in for a back operation because he had an injury in his back, and it was just going in, bit of investigation, poke around, and he discovered cancer, and he 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 shouldn't have been coming to work, but was actually being driven because he was in so much pain after getting out of the hospital. And he died 12 weeks later after the discovery of cancer, because his entire life was about the business, to the point it killed him, because it wasn't a case of need to stop work, get set up and heal myself or whatever, get the right treatment. It was focused on, the business can't survive without me. The business is still going today. He's not there. He ain't been there for years. It still carries on. But the moral of the story is, get your goals right, get your objectives right. For me, there is some key things that are also important, which are things like ethics, integrity, and doing something you like doing. Those are important things in life. A short-term goal to get to a bigger place, I get it. I do it. It's like where I left. It wasn't a good firm. They weren't good people. There's good people amongst them, but they've got rid of most of them now. But the point being is, the actual business itself was not a good place. It had a main objective, which was to sort my mortgage out. Because financially I could afford it. Financially I had a massive deposit, but on paper I have no real financial history, because I've been in Asia for so long. So got to that point and left. And that's the thing. But even on my 5-year, the 5-year is, even myself, I question, what do I want to do once we got other properties in Spain? Because, like I said, I won't sit still. So I vision that we'll spend a lot more time travelling. I may drop back to consulting, so I only work 3-6 months of the year, and then I scatter that around. I'll travel. So, for example, like now, it's nice and sunny. I'd probably be travelling around Spain or Europe. But then when it comes into the winter months, where they're horrible and not a lot to do, ideal for working. And let's see, already I'm thinking Oktoberfest. I'm thinking the Christmas in Germany, because I have some great Christmas fairs and stuff. So even in the winter time, I'm already like, yeah, but we could go and do this. So yeah, I think this is the thing, is to keep your focus correct, keep it on the goals, but also recognise once you've achieved them, what next? There's no point just assuming going to the Philippines, like I said, that's the goal, and everything's just going to sort itself out from there. And I do see a lot of people just assume that they just go there and everything's going to be fine, and you do get frustrated by being used as a Google box, because everyone's going, right, what do I do about immigration? What do I do about it? I'm like, there's videos, groups, even embassies out there with all that information. You should be thinking about this now, because part of their goal is getting to the Philippines, and funny enough, immigration's part of that. Not just buying the ticket, it's the immigration. How much is your budget? Where you're going to stay? What you're going to do? Fill your time. What's going to stop you being the 10 a.m. drinker like many other expats? They suddenly realised they didn't plan ahead and didn't think about anything else. So they got there, met somebody, got in a relationship, and sit in the pub as soon as it opens. And that's their day, every day. Don't get into that rut, please. That's not what it's about. What you want to be doing is gonna take up cycling, motorbike riding. The Philippines is built for motorbikes. I know a lot of people say it's dangerous. It is dangerous, but I love riding my motorbike. Although I've got to get mine fixed because somebody crashed it. But I may just ride it off and buy a new one when we start heading back for longer trips. But for me, there's my goal. The water station's next on our list. We've got the Wi-Fi business up and running. The water station's next. We've already got the apartments we rent out. We have sustainable living there if we want it. We could pack up in Spain and basically live in the Philippines and never have to work again already. I mean, our neighbours there's a buyer interested there in their house at the moment. In the last year, it's gone from 165,000 to now 225,000. Will somebody buy it? I don't know. Prices in Spain seem all over the place to me. I wouldn't pay 225,000, especially when I paid 135 for mine, and mine's the one that sits opposite the beach. But the point is, it all depends what you want to do, what you want to achieve, where you want to go. For me, these little people, Zoe there and Ubi over there, and even my daughter Nicole is doing quite well for herself, but these guys, it's one of the key reasons we're in Spain. We want them to get a education in Europe. We want them to be able to have the opportunities that Europe offers. So for me, that's the big tick in the box for me. The house in Spain is ticking the box. My list is getting smaller. The next one is the new properties in Spain, or a significant investment package in the sense of investments that I just roll it for the next 3 or 4 years, and just go, got enough, I don't need to work anymore. See, it sounds quite hard, but what you got to bear in mind is you spend a ridiculous amount of money on stuff you don't need. I mean, if I look around here, probably just on my bookshelf, in the last 12 months, I've probably spent £500 just on books. In fact, this one's from yesterday. But the point being is, you do buy a lot of stuff you don't need. I'm notorious for it on certain things I like. See, these t-shirts are a cheap version. I got these from CNA or Next, but there's a certain material I like. So when I buy them, I normally buy like 15 or 20 of them. But I noticed Superdry have got something similar. They've got a V-neck one. So I've now bought about 10, 15 of those. And they're not cheap, don't get me wrong, but I will wear them pretty much every day. So yeah, if I like something, I'll buy it. I normally buy lots of the same thing, just different colours, etc. So I know we all do it. So I'm not blaming anybody, but I'm saying when you look at things, you do spend money on stuff that you often don't need. And I do get it as well, in the sense of, if you've been stuck in lockdown for 2 years, it's surprising how much tap people have bought off Amazon. I'm just thinking what I've actually bought that I can show you. That's pretty good. I can't actually see anything. That's a bonus. But you do end up buying bits and pieces that you think, oh yeah, like my air fan. See, this goes round your neck, and it's got a fan built into it for cooling. Do I use it a lot? No. Not as much as I should do, but to be fair, I might use it when I'm driving, because I do find it gets quite hot in the car, even with the aircon. See, now I'm finding stuff. I bought this from the airport, a neck pillow, a travel one. I do use that one because it stops me snoring. It doesn't bother me. It bothers everybody else on the plane. But when I sat on the plane, you just sat there, keeps your neck straight. So it's like, but like I said, we all do it. Is keeping it under control is the key to it. But I do recommend setting your goals out and then going, where do I go once I reach them? Really important, because you may find you reach it and are unhappy because you may have sacrificed more than you should have done to get there. You may have reached the goal and then thought, now what, and haven't thought about it, and you may not have anything you want to do, which is even worse. Yeah. It's a fine balance, and not all goals have to be unreachable. The best goals are often ones you can get to, like learning to play the piano or study or having an objective that you can use. I mean, one of mine at the moment, quite a low level one, is drone flying. I want to go and get my drone license. A bit higher up the ladder is start taking more flying lessons again. When I get my pilot's license. So we all have objectives, but key point on that, me becoming a pilot is not about owning a plane and becoming a pilot. It's actually say, Matt, you need to switch off from work from sometimes, and flying a plane has a bit more concentration needed than Homer Simpson has. So the point is, you've got to focus on something else, and that's one of the reasons I like that. Plus, I do like flying. But anyway, guys, I just thought I'd throw that out there today. I might do some other videos today. I'm in quite a positive mood today. I've had, a bit of relaxation, bit of recovery. I say relaxation. I still do a full day's work, and then just go at the shopping mall or something. But it's been a nice change of scenery. It's been good to see family, etc. And those are the important things in life. Thanks for watching.